Hey there, so my name is Rasdeep and I built classroom memory for the Cogni Cloud Hackathon. So the idea is really simple. The classroom is multi-tenant by nature and every student needs a private memory, but the teacher needs one view across all of them. So as you can see that everything is working live here. I've connected it to the Cogni Cloud, the classroom memory is connected, and now let's do this. See the serve function, the member function, the recall function, everything is connected with the Cogni Cloud. So the verification has passed. So as you can see that verification has passed. So now let's understand the idea in depth. So most learning apps remember content, not students. They know the syllabus, the equations, maybe the score, but they do not really remember what each child knows, what they are forgetting, and what they are ready to learn next. So we have also heard this many times that we teach the same stuff to all the students within a class. Like if there are 60 students, they are all learning the same things in the same way. But we all know that every student has its own learning capabilities, and they are not like all other students. So classroom memory solves this using Cogni Cloud. Every student becomes a private memory and the teacher gets a class level view across those memories. So this is not just a quiz demo, this is a school memory system that I have built. So now let's understand the actual working of this app, basically how a student can use it. So let's select a student from here. Also, the teacher can set the curriculum here, and also it can enroll new student if she or he wants to enroll a new student here. So it can happen also. So I'm going to select someone who has mastered zero. So Augie has mastered zero lessons. So so basically we can see that Augie hasn't mastered any lesson yet. So as you can see here, the graph shows that the learning of Augie is not just a number, it is basically a node. So every concept that the teacher is supposed to be teaching, so every concept will be appear here like a node. So now right now all the nodes are red because Augie hasn't mastered any lesson yet. So as you can see this here, so if he is learning in some topic, then the node will turn into yellow color, and if he has mastered any topic, then it will turn into green color, and so on. So before moving ahead, let's now understand how it is actually working. So the app does not just pick random questions; it walks through the prerequisite graph as that we have seen before, and and choose. And from here, it chooses the frontier, basically, which means that the topic the student is Augie we have chose is ready. So it will choose the topic which the Augie is ready to learn right now. So right now Augie hasn't learned any lesson, so it has been assigned the first topic in the Python fundamental course, that is basically variables. So we can see this here also on the cloud. So as you can see here, I have selected student Augie here, and if we click on the course, we see that the Python fundamental is appearing, and if we can see the topic that is assigned to him, that is variable and assignment, you can see it in the entity, and you can also check all the concept and all the details here. And as we keep on going ahead, we will see that the here the information about the Augie will keep on updating. So right now we'll see here. Right now there are only two files, right? So after we attempt some quiz, this info will get updated. So now let's do that. So now let's just attempt the quiz. So we can see that the learnings are updating live. So Augie has mastered one lesson, and currently we have moved to the another lesson which the Augie is learning. So we can see that Augie has mastered two lessons. So now let's just see the mastery graph. So we can see that Augie has mastered two lessons. So two nodes has turned green, the variables and the assignment node and the conditional node. And one is Augie is learning one lesson. So the one node is red, and rest all are one node is yellow, and rest all are red, still red, because Augie hasn't completed those nodes. And the same information has been updated live on the Cogni Cloud server. So basically let's see the architecture how it works. So let's see this here. So when Augie answers, fast API scores the answer, the mastery weights changes, and the graph updates live. So the browser is not holding the just learning state. The backend owns the exact state, and Cogni Cloud owns the durable memory. So this is important because if Augie or any other student closes his laptop while learning, the memory should not disappear. As I said, the information is updating live on the Cogni Cloud. So we can see here that previously Augie has only two files. Now it has total six files. So the information about Augie is getting updated on the Cogni Cloud. Students can not only just practice here, they can also see that their next steps, like the topics that they have to learn next, and they can also see their learning over time graphs here. They have mastered all these concepts, which is appeared. Augie has mastered all this concept. This is all info related to the Augie. They can also use this recall button to check their learning and answer and ask questions about their own learnings and all. So they can all do all these things, forget some things if they want to learn it from scratch again, and all these things. I have used Cogni Cloud recall function here so that the information is scoped to the Augie's dataset. It is not like a generic chatbot answer. The answer will be grounded in this student's curriculum, basically Augie's curriculum, memory and progress memory. And Augie can also generate the report card here by clicking on this. It will take some time. It is calling the recall function of the Cogni Cloud. So the report card is also generated from memory. It is showing only those concepts which has been mastered by Augie. So parents and teachers can use to see what Augie has mastered, what Augie is ready for, and where he still have gaps. So this is where Cogni becomes powerful. A vector database can find similar text, but here we need relationships. So basically, all this concept requires, and that serves as and so the importance of cognitive is significant here. More important feature here, like as we know that learning is not static. So I'm selecting one student from here. Let's say select Kara because she has answered mastered the maximum number of concepts. So basically, Kara has learned so many concepts, but some older concepts now are now rusty. Like so Kara can just move back the clock and see, and she can see the concept that she has to revise. Like most of these concept has turned rusty, as you can see. So basically, she's supposed to be revise all these concepts, right? The app also supports retired, mastered, and reset students. So in a cloud mode, the reset calls Cogni forget for the student's dataset. So even cleanup is a part of memory lifecycle. So now let's understand another important page, the teacher page, and we can see it here. So basically, here is also a heat map, and the heat map shows. So the heat map is showing the students update here. As you can see, the class is red, class is missed. So the teacher basically can here assign review to all the students who are red or rusty on a concept, and this whole information on Cogni Cloud is stored in the class intervention. So which you can see here, the class intervention, all the information related to the teacher gets stored here. So the teacher action also becomes a part of the memory. A teacher can also ask about the class, like here I'm asking updates about each student. So it's hitting the recall function on the Cogni Cloud. So we can see the answers here. So the answers is coming from class recall in cloud mode. The preferred path is in the dense class graph. All the information is stored here about all the students collectively. And this is a multi-tenancy where value in one screen students stay private, but the teacher can still ask a class level question. So this also covers the multi-tenancy feature of the Cogni Cloud, which generally people have not included, forget to add in their project. So that's it. Now let's just go through the Cogni Cloud also. We can see it here, the class intervention. We can also see the class graph here, which contains all the info about each and every students and all the teacher actions that has been performed. And here we can see the mind maps here. It's just taking some time. I'll just select the class, the whole info about the students. Complete info here about each and every students, and also the teacher, which is written in form of notes. You can just hover over it and you can see the details of all those things. And if it goes individually on some students, like let's just select Augie. So now let's see, we can see the topic which currently the Augie is supposed to learn, that is the core data type, which we also know that. And we can see the topic course which Augie has enrolled, that is Python fundamentals. Now this information we can see about here. We can select each and every individual students, or we can just go through all the students all together. And here in the search, we'll just select, we have selected student Augie. Now let's ask any questions about Augie. What Augie? See, Augie is currently learning the core data types topics. So similarly, we can just ask questions about any students, and if you want to collectively ask about all the students, like get the info of the whole class, we can just select this and we can ask questions here. Right. So we have update about all the students, like what the topic they are learning. So that's it, I guess. So this is what I have built. It has practical use cases. Thank you.